This is Reality Dispatch, written by Jim Mintz.
I needed to exchange the Polaroid by 5, as that's what time they closed. I knew this from my junkie days, when I'd steal and hand in the items for review. Tommy behind the counter, he'd always do me a good deal. But they had new owners now. I don't know who this couple were, maybe a mom and pop store. I was trying to get on the straight and narrow. My doping days were behind me. That's not just what I told my parole officer, it's the goddamn truth. So I saved up my pennies from my daytime bar job. I know what you're going to say. What's an ex-junkie doing working a bar in the daytime? Tempting much? Of course. Am I going to sit here with a straight face and tell you that I wasn't straying whilst on the tools? No, I am not going to insult you like that. This story is too important, so I'll make sure I am completely above board with you if you just trust me that I am telling the truth here. Yes, I took a hit here and there when I was on the taps. So what? Wouldn't you? It was a bar in the daylight hours, for the love of God. You think the clientele I had to deal with wouldn't tempt you? I digress. I saved cash, and now I was on the lookout for a Polaroid camera. I wanted to start life anew, turn over a new leaf, so to speak. Someone said I had a good eye back when I was a kid. I think I took like one good shot that made the school newspaper. I think it was my auntie or something. I paid her a visit last Christmas and reminded her of this, and she said something like, I did. I assured her that she in fact did, and that, wouldn't it be a great idea if I went back to that creative spark where the waters would be welcoming and the temperature would be warm? An ideal place for an ex-junkie to thrive and survive, especially in such an expensive city like New York. She patted my hand and said something to the effect of, oh dear, bless. God damn her. So I signed up to night school. Goddamn thing cost me $30, and that was just for the first lesson. I found out halfway through that they expected that every single Tuesday, payment up front. Needless to say, not only did I object to the price, the stuff they were teaching me was a lot of gobbledygook. Aperture this, f-stop that, go to hell. I went out looking for the Polaroid the next day. Maybe I could make the point-and-click machine my baby, my canvas. I saw what some folks over near Warhol's were doing with them. Samo, he was into them. Maybe I could crash that scene? Crash. Hell, maybe I could take over that scene. What was the photo I took for my high school, girl alone on the bleachers? I figured, since that was the image that got me the good reviews, I should stick to what I knew and go for a similar aesthetic. Even though it had been 11 years since my senior year, I had this thing from B&H, and I prowled the streets day and night looking for the perfect subject. They needed to have just been caught in a life-altering situation, I had told myself. Nothing boring, nothing covert, nothing ordinary. I mean, I wanted ordinary people who had just gone through an extraordinary situation, and I wanted to capture the look on their face from a distance. Before I had even pressed the shutter once, not even to test the damn thing, because film was expensive, I just walked around and watched. I had quit my job too, so this was it. It had to work out. F-stops beware. It was this or back to the bar, but I wouldn't be tending bar. I would be breaking down the safe that Marv kept in the office. I dedicated myself to this profession, even though I hadn't taken a shot. Then, just as the perfect specimen arrived, she was young. She was professional looking. She had just walked up the top stairs of 86th and 4th. I saw him approach her from behind with speed. Eddie. Fast Eddie. I used to take hits from him. He gave me his spares. I knew he was up to no good. Bam! He stole her purse just as she made the top of the stairs from the subway. Her jaw dropped harder than an anvil, and I saw her eyes water in fear and perspiration. I placed the eyepiece of the camera to my forehead, and without looking, I snapped the only shot that would be, as it ejected itself from the dispenser below. I pressed the shutter over and over, hoping not to lose the momentum, forgetting that there was no rapid shutter on a Polaroid camera. The image was white, and I shook it in my hand, waiting for the glory to reveal itself. Only it never did. I stood there on the corner, waiting for a shot that never was. The film? Was it broken? Was the camera a dud? I had spent 3 days and nights prowling the streets for the shot that had arrived, and the camera let me down at the most inopportune moment. I scowled at the machine and thought about smashing it in the corner dumpster that just so happened to be across the road, near where the police were taking a statement from the young woman. Instead, I decided to hitch a ride on the subway up to 11th and 8th to B&H for a discussion and possibly a refund. "There is nothing wrong with the camera," the technician told me as he looked it over in and out. "The film would not develop. Look," I yelled at him, showed him the white Polaroid image, and his disinterested eyes glazed over it. "Probably your film," he suggested. "May I?" He gestured if he could take more images. I allowed, and he rapidly clicked one after another. He laid the pictures down on the table. This time, they each slowly developed. They were of me. Behind me was a demon. 2 horns, yellow eyes, red skin, the lot. It was smiling. We looked up from the images at each other in fright. "Is this a joke?" he asked me. "Are you fucking with me?" I yelled back. I looked at the image in my hand from earlier. It too had finally developed. The woman who was attacked by Fast Eddie was there in the square box. So too was Eddie. They stood there, side by side at the top of the stairs above the subway, pointing to me, pointing to the image. "It's developed," I said. I looked up at the technician. He had a pale look of horror as he looked over my shoulder. I could hear faint breathing, like a beast was standing just over my shoulder. "You made a deal," the voice of the beast said. It was a reminder. "I've come to collect." I looked down at the Polaroid. The girl and Fast Eddie were still there, no longer pointing. They had their hands covering their mouths in horror.
For more stories of fact-based fiction, head to jimmins.substack.com.